He told me he just wants me.
Okay.
He then spoke to her. I don't know what's been spoken, so I need.
Did you tell her in the chat that you didn't want to carry on getting to know her?
No. I didn't say them words at all.
Kaz's karma is real. I'm going to say that again. Kaz's karma is real. The audacity to be there. Who remembers when Ekin-su gave Kaz a sash saying she's thirsty? Who remembers when Ekin-su was stirring the pot in the Elma, the Ronnie, and Kaz situation? Who remembers? Well, today the chickens have come home to roost. This is what happens when it's so easy for you to steal someone from somebody else. She stole Curtis so easily and he turned his back on Kaz and she thought she had won the prize. Well, here we go. He's just showed who he is because it was so easy for him to be stolen by Danielle because he didn't shut it down. Nobody should be upset with him. I don't even know why people are wanting to save her. If she wants to go home, open the door. Open the door. Jason Derulo left the door open, so she's free to step out. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island All Stars Season 2, Episode 16. Never thought these words would come out of my mouth, but I totally agree with Casey. This was a wasted 10 minutes. Seriously, I have no idea why the producers have decided to put us through this, except for the fact that Ekin-su has realized that she's not the fan favorite and she's decided to create drama for reasons best known to her. Best known to her because everybody, including everyone in the villa, is shocked and they don't understand what's going on. So you have Curtis around the fire pit with Danielle having a conversation. Curtis really likes Danielle. This is what I can say. He really likes Danielle, and so he's regretting his decision. He's having buyer's remorse. He's regretting his decision to shut things off with Ekin-su. Ekin-su is putting on theatrics. She's pretending to cry. As far as I'm concerned, I really didn't see any tears, so this is why I'm saying she's pretending to cry. So she was pretending to cry, and she was being consoled by Ronnie, and I'm like, seriously, why are we wasting Ronnie's time consoling this woman? Oh, I don't know what I did to him. I don't know why he's doing this to me. Ekin-su, you're a grown woman. You need to start behaving like one. Stop putting on the theatrics. Nobody expects theatrics from you. You should have continued to pretend to be the sweet girl you were. And so from there, she stood up. She went to the girl. She was crying. Oh, what did I do? He said I did something wrong. She was looking for sympathy from everyone in the villa. She was looking for sympathy from everyone in the villa. Luca pulled her aside because they were in the same villa with Luca in was it season 10 or season 9 or 8? I've actually forgotten. So he's trying to console her and she's asking, why is he behaving like that? And everyone is telling her that Curtis is questioning that she's not being her authentic self. And she hasn't been. She's pretended to be this sweet, naive girl. Now she feels how Kaz felt when she stole Curtis from Kaz. Let us hear her say, she's desperate, because that's what she said. She said Kaz was thirsty. And what is she doing? She's even being way more thirsty than Kaz was, because the moment she stole him, Kaz moved on. And so for her to be going to the girls and be crying and, oh, why is he leaving me? Oh, why is he doing this to me? Why is no one paying me attention? It's just attention-seeking behavior as far as I'm concerned. She wasn't really that upset that he was speaking to someone. I think she's more worried that now if he is stolen, she is at risk of going home. That's the impression that I get, because all the other guys don't see her in a romantic sense. You have Curtis. He actually ignored her because he came from his conversation with Gabby, went inside, and then Ronnie had to say to him, Ekin-su is upset, she's been crying, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I want to sleep on it, I'll speak to her tomorrow. He went, he sat on the day beds, and then you had the likes of Gabby chiming in, giving their 2p on the situation. Oh, he needs to be honest. It's not you, it's not Danielle. He needs to be honest. And he told them, you all need to mind your own business. This is not a community relationship. This is between Ekin-su and I, so Ekin-su and I will resolve it. So Ekin-su then pulled him for a chat to the fire pit. And I think she expected him to grovel. I think she expected him to beg her to forgive him, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't. He just stood there. And then she had to lean in and start hugging him and saying, I'm sorry. And you had Casey shout, oh, this is too much. So what have all the last 10 minutes been about? And it's like, I'm thinking the same thing you are. Because why are we being put through drama school? We don't really need drama school. We just need people to be their authentic selves. And Curtis is right that Ekin-su has been putting on a performance that she thought people were expecting from her. Now she's realized that people will prefer the old Ekin-su. She's going to go back to her ways. She's used to toxic relationships, and this is what she's going to try and show off. All the islanders go off to bed, and they're still sort of puzzled as to what happened. Curtis is not even cuddling Ekin-su. He's facing the other way. I think he's done with Ekin-su. I think he's ready to move on. The problem is when you steal him, and it's easy to steal, know that somebody else is going to steal him from you. So I don't get why Ekin-su was crying. Everybody went to bed, and Grace and Luca were busy going to town. And it's like, Grace, seriously, can't you wait? It's only been a couple of days. Can't you wait a couple more days anyway? Oma is coming, so if I were you, I would wait until Oma's been, since you were really keen on him the first time around. So in the morning, you have the islanders wake up. Obviously, there is a mini debrief sort of sprinkled around the villa. You have Curtis sitting by the fire pit with Luca and Casey, and it's like, of all the people to advise him, Casey, no. Luca, maybe. And he's saying, he really likes Ekin-su. He thinks they've got something very deep, and he's really enjoying it. It's just that she frustrates him at times. And it's like, well, if you think this is frustrating, wait until she really gets into it. She can actually be worse than this. So he's sort of hinting that he doesn't want to explore his connection with, Danielle anymore. It's only that she was the best person to speak to because Ekin-su was kicking off, and he just needed someone who was sort of providing harmony, sort of peace, sort of easy to talk to. And it's like, you are just saying what you think people want to hear. I think he saw the backlash and is worried that people are going to sort of go after him because of the fact that he played Ekin-su. He didn't play Ekin-su. Ekin-su came, she stole him from Kaz. Kaz sat back and just watched and didn't do anything to disturb their connection. So the idea that, she's now suddenly this victim because this man has been stolen by somebody else or is interested in somebody else is a lie, as far as I'm concerned. You have Gabby having a conversation with Danielle, and Danielle is saying, she found it easy to speak to Curtis and she really liked him, but at the same time, she doesn't want to sort of cause any tension because everybody in the villa was stressed because it was becoming very tense because of the Curtis and Ekin-su situation. And it's like, some of us watching it, having seen, Ekin-su call Kaz thirsty, I have no empathy for her. It's karma catching up with her, as far as I'm concerned. It's karma catching up with her, so it is what it is. You have Gabby then asks about Ron, and Danielle says she's open to getting to know Ron as well. She's not shutting things down. She's open to exploring connections with everyone to see if she can get anything with anybody else. And it's like, hey, it is what it is. Ekin-su is having a conversation with Tina and Elma, and she's sort of saying, oh, I feel some type of way. I feel so upset. I feel better today because yesterday I was very upset. I felt like Curtis wasn't being honest. And it's like, well, you were not being honest with him. So the two of you are not being honest with one another. Curtis came over with the croissant. Oh, I thought I'll get your croissant before they run out. I was like, Curtis, stop. You've realized that maybe what you're doing is not right, so you're trying to make amends with Ekin-su. The fact that the two of you have decided to sort of apologize to one another and try and see if you can make it work, I'm not buying it. I really am not buying it because I don't think either one of you is as into the other as you make out. I think it's only a strategic play. It's a sense of, I get the sense that the two of you want to stay in the villa and you know that nobody else wants you romantically when somebody else wanted, Curtis, Ekin-su throw a fit. And so Curtis is realizing that he has to go back to Ekin-su. Otherwise, I don't get why we're in this mess. You have Ronnie and Harriet. Ronnie sort of makes her a food platter. And you have Casey busy yappa with Luca, and he's saying, if it didn't work in the outside world, why should you try and rekindle? And it's like, Casey, you're not the relationship expert. You're the last person to be giving relationship advice. We really don't want to hear what you have to say. We really don't. Allow them to rekindle. If it works, amazing. If it doesn't, amazing. And he's saying, well, there's nothing you can say to Ronnie because it's tunnel vision. Maybe he has realized his mistakes. Maybe he's really wanting to make things work with Harriet. How about that? Ronnie is really being sweet, he's being loving, he's being caring, and the fact that he's finally managed to get a kiss because he's been asking for a kiss, finally got a kiss, and he is over the moon. They're enjoying their platter and they're just enjoying their own time. I think Ronnie, I've said this before, Ronnie is an amazing guy. Yes, he has his fault in the sense that at times he doesn't commit to a relationship, but I personally think he's an amazing guy, especially when the girls are going through a lot. He's always the first one to stand up and sort of try and console them. So I love that about him. I love that he's always putting the girls first, and the fact that he's really worked hard to win Harriet. I hope Harriet realizes this, and I really hope when she decides to give him a chance, she really does give him an honest chance and see if things will work or not. So you have, Danielle having a conversation with Ron, and they really seem to get along. I think she's using Ron as her backup. I really do. I think she likes him. She's humoring him, but she doesn't like him in a romantic sense as much as she likes Curtis. So it's going to be difficult for poor Ron because since he came in, he hasn't been able to sort of connect with anyone. He wanted Kaz. Kaz didn't want him. And then Kaz went home after she linked up with Montel. Elma didn't want him. She threw a fit because he called out for her bad behavior. And it's like, so what are we doing with Ron? Why not send Ron home if you can't find him someone? I keep saying this. They keep keeping islanders with no connections in there and not bringing in people that those people are most likely to get along with. Make it make sense. You have Elma having a conversation with Sammy, and Sammy saying, I am not open to exploring connections with anybody else. I'm happy to chat with you and only you. I don't think I have anything to do with anybody else. And it's like, oh, please stop. Please stop. You've only been in the villa less than 24 hours and already you're telling everyone that you are not interested in having conversations because you found your person. I don't get it. I don't know whether the producers have brought him in so that he can get Elma to the finish line and she can win, because otherwise it's not making sense. You have Danielle go and pull, Curtis for a chat, and he really seems ecstatic to be called by her. I'm going to say Curtis likes Danielle. He likes Danielle more than he likes Ekin-su, but he knows the optics don't look good. And this is why he's pretending to be a victim of the situation. He's pretending as though he's not encouraging Danielle to sort of explore a connection with him. He should have, when she sat down, he should have told her, I've spoken to Ekin-su, we've agreed that we're just going to focus on one another. So I just want you to know I'm now shut off. And then she would know. But for him to sort of be sitting there and be flirting and apologizing to her, I'm so sorry you've been through such a hard time. You didn't need to go through this. I'm so sorry. And it's like, please make it stop. Make it stop. I don't want to hear it anymore. It's either you really like her or you don't, and let's move on. Gabby receives a text message. It says, Islanders, get ready for an incredible night because the villa will be hosting a VIP performance from an American superstar. Hashtag talk dirty to me. Hashtag want to want me. And it's like, oh God, Jason Derulo. I know Kieran wrote on Twitter apparently last night that, they got Jason Derulo, yet we got some rap star who didn't want to be there. And it's like, someone needs to educate this boy. They tried with Jason Derulo, I guess. So Jason Derulo comes and the Islanders have an amazing time. Curtis, I don't know whether he was auditioning to be one of Jason's dancers or what, because he really went all in. Catherine, my sister, had the time of her life. I love this for her. I really love this for her because she's really had a bad time in the villa. So for her to have this moment and for Jason to sort of say, can someone help me put my coat on? And she screamed and she ran to the front to make sure she was the one who put it on. And, he kissed her on the hand. Oh, Catherine was over the moon. And I think for her, even if she doesn't find love, this experience was enough for her. I really love it for her. Everyone seemed to have a great time and seemed to really be enjoying themselves. So after the performance, you have the girls sort of sit down with Ekin-su, and the boys are sitting with Curtis by the fire pit. The boys are asking, so are you now closed off then? Have you told, Danielle that you're closed off? And he said, well, the problem with Ekin-su is we've gone 2 steps back. And because we've gone 2 steps back, she's still my priority. And that's where we stand. And it's like, so are you shutting things down with Danielle? And he wouldn't say anything. So you have Ekin-su telling the girls, Curtis said, his priority and he's going to tell Danielle to shut things down. And the boys are busy asking Curtis, so if, Ekin-su tells you to shut things down with Danielle, are you going to do it? And he went, no, I'm not. So I feel like Curtis, romantically, he likes Danielle. But I think gameplay, he likes Ekin-su because he knows Ekin-su will get him further in the villa than him staying with Danielle. That's the impression that I get. You have Ekin-su, talking to the girls and sort of saying, oh, he's going to shut things down with her. He's not going to do anything with her. And it's like, how do you know unless he says it to your face? How do you know? The girls have all realized that, Curtis is playing, both sides. He's telling, Danielle what he feels she wants to hear. And he's also telling Ekin-su what he feels Ekin-su wants to hear. So Danielle goes to the fire pit with Gabby because they were on the same season. And Gabby's sort of saying to her, so where do you stand? Do you really want to continue to explore things with Curtis, or do you want to explore things with Ronnie? And she says, I love the fact that Ron is giving me the attention and I'm still going to continue to get to know him. But I think looking at her, you can tell Danielle really likes Curtis. Curtis really likes Danielle. And I think if Ekin-su were not in the villa, then it would be a totally different story. But because Ekin-su is in the villa, this is where they are stuck. Curtis goes across to speak to Ekin-su. She sat with Luca and Grace. And so Ekin-su asks him, have you told Danielle that you're closed off? And he went, no. Oh, but you said, and she said, you're still my priority. Well, I need you to tell him. And he said, okay, what do you want me to tell her? And it's like, but you've just told the guys, Curtis, that no one will tell you what to do. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Curtis is loving the attention. He's loving it that he's at the center of the drama in the villa at the moment. And so the idea that he would shut things down with Danielle, I don't get it. I think he'll only shut things down with Danielle if there's backlash after a recoupling. Then he will dump her. But for the moment, he's enjoying it. He's enjoying it. Everyone in the villa is right to say he's enjoying having his cake and eating it, which he is. So the villa is buzzing because everybody is aware of the Ekin-su, Curtis and Danielle situation. Grace receives a text message that says, can all islanders gather around the fire pit? Everybody knows what it means. You've got 2 new bombshells that are not coupled up. So that means most likely they are about to recouple. Danielle receives a text message to say that can they both stand up? So she and Sammy stand up at the front of the fire pit. Sammy has only been exploring with Elma, and Elma is smitten. She's over the moon. I can imagine tomorrow she will already be telling him that she's in love with him. Apparently this has been a long time coming. It's been a year that they've known each other, so finally they're here. And it's like, if we're using the same hypothesis that everybody else is using when it comes to the Ronnie situation, why are they exploring it here? Even Elma herself said, if it didn't work on the outside, why would you think it would work on the inside? I remember her wanting to give Ronnie and Harriet a ticket back to the UK. So please, can someone pass her a ticket and she and Sammy can leave the villa immediately. She is so excited. She says, I want to cry. And it's like, we're not buying the tears because they're not coming down. So please sit down and we will move on to the next one. Danielle stands up. She says she thanks everyone for, welcoming her in. And Ekin-su was trying to stare her down, sort of trying to intimidate her into not picking who she wanted to pick. And everyone was on the edge of their seats because they wanted to know who she was going to pick. And she said, she's a bit conflicted. I think she liked Ronnie, but not as much as she liked Curtis. So she chose to recouple with Curtis. And then she was saying she's sorry. Ekin-su wouldn't even accept the apology. And it's like, buddy, keep quiet. You did the same thing to Kaz. There's no empathy for you over here. You stole him from Kaz and you thought you were smart. Now here you go. This is a taste of your own medicine. So please gobble, gobble, gobble. Curtis said, I'm a big boy, I'll be fine, because you had Danielle apologizing to him to saying, I'm so sorry, I've put you in a mess. And he said, no, I'm a big boy, I can handle it. And I love this for him. Hopefully Ekin-su goes home. She needs to storm out because she's about to throw the biggest tantrum because she wants to get her way. And I hope they don't give in. They don't allow her to sort of rule this villa. Anyway, I can't wait for the next episode. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 15. Bye, guys.